Hello friends, and welcome. Welcome to the fellow seekers of the strange and supernatural and sometimes macabre stories. A warning though, the terror we uncover tonight is very real. It's etched into the very soil of the Warwickshire landmark. This place has witnessed unspeakable acts, heard the cries of innocence, and perhaps still holds the secrets of those who dare to meddle with forces beyond their comprehension. Tonight, as the veil between worlds thins and the very air crackles with an ancient energy, we journey to a place marked by a dark past. A place where whispers of murder, the chilling touch of witchcraft, and the relentless grip of mystery all intertwine. This is the tale of Meon Hill. First, we must travel to the village of Lower Quinton, which rests at the base of Meon Hill. A place of haunting beauty that wears a hidden and deep scar. It is here, in a village once synonymous with peace, that a horror unfolded, a brutal act that remains an unsolved stain on history. This is where I introduce you to Mr. Charles Walton, a 74-year-old labourer who lived in Lower Quinton his entire life. He resided in a small thatched cottage opposite the church with his niece, whom he had taken care of since she was 3 years old, after her mother had died. Lower Quinton was a very tight-knit community, and although many knew of Charles, he was apparently a quiet man who kept to himself. It was said that he was not disliked, but nor was he sociable. Charles was a man of routine, working in the fields even into his final years, until that fateful day, February 14th, 1945, Charles walked out of his front door to cut a hedge and into a terror he couldn't imagine. When he was finally found, the scene defied comprehension. His body was mutilated, a spectacle of chilling, ritualistic overkill. His own pitchfork had been driven into his neck with such savage force it threatened to sever his head entirely. Into his chest, a cross was carved, and his own billhook still stuck deep within the wound. His coat and other items lay undisturbed nearby, a chilling testament to the deliberation of the attack. The motive for his murder was very unclear, and due to the horrific details and lack of locals willing to come forward with any information, tales of witchcraft and folklore soon started to become more and more reasonable. The investigation gained enough fame nationwide that even Scotland Yard got involved, with the renowned Robert Fabian heading up the case. It was said that he spent many days and many nights scouring the hill for any clues or signs that this was a straightforward murder. But not even London's finest officers could solve the case and bring a peace back to the village. In fact, quite the opposite occurred. Fabian wrote memoirs about the case which warned the public against the dangers of delving into black magic, stating it was a ghastly climax of pagan rite. Perhaps most disturbingly, he talks about an encounter with a spectral black dog. Fabian recounts seeing the dark canine entity running on the path around the hill. When he stopped to ask a young local boy on the trail if he knew whose dog it was, as soon as he mentioned the colour, the boy went pale and ran as fast as he could off the hillside. Throughout history, the black dog has consistently represented an inescapable, formidable darkness, once feared as a guardian of the underworld and a precursor to death. Today, it is more of a defining metaphor for the consuming shadow of depression. Is anybody still there? I see you. I do love a good story, especially one involving murder. But I'm one of those people that likes to see it for themselves. With that in mind, shall we take a little walk? So I'm just walking around the side of Meon Hill now, just going to see how far we can actually get. So I would imagine that Mr. Walton probably knew these hills very, very well. He would have worked out here sort of long hours, I would imagine. I swear I heard a voice then. So, quite a way up on the hillside right now, seeing how far I can actually get up the hill. Just tried a couple of ways up on that side, but no luck. Just comes to dead ends, unfortunately. So I want to get up onto this ridge here. This is just way too thick to be going through. I'm just going to carry on round, see where we can come to. So there is a squirrel behind me. It keeps freaking me out. I've made it up onto this bit. Beautiful. Spooky old tree there. Oh. Hello there. I'm just checking that you've subscribed. Please do so now, or I will return. Walton's quiet demeanour fuelled initial speculation that he was a practising witch himself, or maybe a sympathiser of the dark arts. This was violently compounded by his ritualistic murder, which many believed was a deliberate message for those dedicated to opposing witchcraft. Yet, the mystery only deepened when witch glass, a charm specifically used to ward off evil, was reportedly found hidden within his pocket watch, suggesting a far more complex and contradictory life. The fields of Meon Hill are no strangers to evil worship and uncomfortable mysteries. The hill itself shares an ancient ley line with the infamous Pendle Hill and nearby Rollright Stones. These geographically straight lines are said to carry spiritual energy along them, with many locations located on or near the line sharing similar stories clouded by mystery of dark rituals and otherworldly tales. One is of William Shakespeare. It is rumoured that the Stratford-upon-Avon playwright heard local tales of a witches' coven meeting on the hill. This chilling possibility is said to have inspired the creation of the terrifying Weird Sisters in his tragedy, Macbeth. So, made it. So this is the highest point, technically, of Meon Hill. Get up onto this mound here, do a bit of a 360 for you. You can see why this would have been such important settlement at any point in history, really. You can see there's actually a trig point there, and also you've got the added story of the potential witches' coven that comes up here. I'll tell you what though, that hill, no wonder witches are all skinny having to do that hill every time you want to do a ritual. Jeez. Right, I think I've spent enough time up here. Are you paying attention? Even the physical existence of Meon Hill is attributed to the supernatural, stemming from a fiery confrontation with the devil. The tale proceeds that the devil, intent on destroying the newly built Evesham Abbey, scooped up a colossal mound of earth and prepared to bury the sacred structure. However, the combined fervent prayers of the bishops of Evesham and nearby Worcester Cathedral were powerful enough to thwart the evil attack. The massive clump of earth dropped instantly, hardening into the landmark we now know as Meon Hill. So we're just nearly back, just walking back down the side of the hill. Obviously didn't see any witches. I don't know if you did. I don't know what I expected. I'm not exactly going to be, it's not going to be Roald Dahl, is it? They're not all going to be in a hotel room, you know. Child is no longer a child, child is a mouse! Didn't expect all that, obviously. Didn't expect them dancing, you know, naked around some incense sticks or something. So yeah, I mean, if you were a witch and you wanted to keep it under wraps, you're probably going to be quite quiet about it. You're probably not going to leave, you know, your ritual book out, are you, on the side for some random person with an action camera to come along and just have a flick through. In conclusion, the legend lives on, because they might not have been here this day. If I'd have come yesterday, oh, squirrel. Busy beaver, busy squirrel. Where was I now? Completely lost my track of thought. Maybe that was a witch that did that on purpose. Interesting. Yeah, maybe if I had come yesterday, maybe they'd have all been having a bit of a party or something. Doing a bit of slaughtering, doing a bit of sacrifice, you never know. But not today. Well, not on this camera anyway. Oh, good heavens. These things. My poor little heart. Oh, what was that, sir? I see a doctor. Definitely lots of squirrels about today trying to freak me out. Anyway, do you know, I think the most beautiful thing about these sort of folklores, these myths, these legends, all across everywhere, the whole world really, is they are whatever you believe they are. Some people will just ignore them and just say, it's a little rubbish. Fair enough. Some people will really feed into it. That's the beautiful thing about these folklores. There is no right or wrong answer. Everyone is different. Me personally, I think I stand in I do believe enough for me not to want to see anything, if that makes sense to anyone else. I believe enough to know that I wouldn't mess around with Ouija boards. I'm not about to start summoning anything or doing any rituals or anything like that. I'm intrigued by it, but I definitely don't want to be poking that bear. I think that's best left to people who want to do that sort of thing. So just behind me here is the St Swithin's Church of Lower Quinton, where Charles Walton is said to be buried. Mr Walton's body was buried in the church he lived opposite for many years. Every single day he would have glanced in the church's direction. The spire itself overlooks the very spot where he died. St Swithin's Church in Lower Quinton. This sacred building has stood here since the 12th century, and Mr Walton's story will not easily be forgotten within the parish. His headstone has since been removed and the grave left unmarked. Perhaps as a way to allow Mr Walton to finally get some peace away from the spotlight as he liked to have lived. Or is it just another sign of local witch hunters ensuring the story has no place within the church grounds or its history? Hello again. Thank you very much for watching. I've enjoyed watching you too. Please subscribe so that I can pay the electricity bill and then I won't have to use these bloody candles. See you on the next one.